Little loud, but I like it. It's the
Hey,
Trimark. It's the Trimark
yeah,
noise,
I want that THX sound,
right?
I want booming bass.
Yeah. Well, hello, fellow followers, and welcome back to FanZcene. With me tonight is Brooks Davis. He's a director, editor, just all around cool cat. So what's up,
Yeah.
man?
Hey, good to be back, Greg. All's going good. Like you said, jack of all trades, everything down to sometimes customer service and quality checking the movies, the DVDs and Blu-rays you love to watch and get.
Yeah, yeah. That's speaking of which, I think one of your movies is finally getting a Blu-ray release. Isn't that what I saw?
Yes. Kind of a little scoop. We do
If
have
you're allowed to
a
talk.
we do have the Ginger Weedman is coming to Blu-ray finally, with a little bit of a caveat though.
Mm.
It will be part of a box set.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to say what that box set is quite yet. I don't want to give too much away, but it's going to be a box set of movies that haven't been on Blu-ray before. And like I said, I think it'll be a really it's going to be a really good seller. I think the fans will be real happy. You're getting some of these movies again, first time on, especially Blu-ray, and they're going to come in a nice cookie tin. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, but I won't say
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
As a fan of Full Moon, I'm pretty familiar with your
I
guys'
figured I'd drop enough hints that you could, put the codes together and say,
Yeah.
oh.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I know what you're yes, but that's
The
pretty
common
cool.
denominator amongst all the movies, we'll put it that way.
Yes, yes. That's pretty cool though. That's I mean, congratulations with that finally getting a Blu-ray though,
Oh,
because
thank you. No, I was, I mean, you always hope and pray, but, we didn't happen. So it is nice to finally get it on high definition. I've looked at the movie myself and it looks fantastic. Our good friend Danny Draven did the mastering and did the Blu-ray. So it's the movie. It's got the deleted footage, the bloopers, commentary, video zones. I think the fans are going to love it. Again, it's going to come in an awesome box set, so you're going to get extra movies as well. And who knows, maybe one day down the line, we might get an individual standalone release on its own. So we'll see. Cross your fingers. I'll try not to make you double dip too much, but you never know.
Hey, even though I don't like to double dip, but I'm willing to double dip for people that I like. You know what I mean?
Of course. Hey, I appreciate it,
Yeah.
Unless you get that review copy. Wink, wink.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
No, but no, I have enjoyed your guys' stuff here lately that you guys have been coming out Full Moon. I've enjoyed that. I really did enjoy Quadrant. That was
it did turn out good.
Yeah, it turned out really good. And I'm looking forward to Death Streamer. I saw the trailer you guys posted on and that looks pretty good too.
Yeah, no, I mean Charlie's in the middle of post-production on that right now as we speak. Probably I think it's coming out end of September. Don't hold me to it, but I think that's kind of the word on the street here, word in the office. And yeah, no, I mean, it's been, obviously we did Subspecies, so we've done vampire stuff before, but I think this is going to be fun for fans. It's going to be a kind of a different take on vampire and vampirism, and kind of introduce, the streaming age and live streamers. I mean, kind of what you're doing here, having like a YouTube show. So, you'll be able to kind of, I'm sure you'll be able to relate to some of the stuff that happens, and you'll be even happy with a lot of boobies.
That's the best part, right? No, that's not the best part, but that's a good part.
Well, this definitely, I will say, it's going along with the pulp noir line and the kind of theme of a darker, edgier Full Moon product. It's definitely in that vein, but it definitely feels like a good classic '90s kind of direct-to-video where you get your vampires, your blood, your guts, and hot babes that are half naked, fully naked, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that with Quadrant too. It kind of like with these movies, and not to get too much into Full Moon. I know I want to, want to get into other stuff with you as well. But like,
bring it on.
But like it really felt like the next evolution of Full Moon. You know what I mean? Because it still felt 90s. It still felt like Full Moon, but it did have a darker edge to it. It was a little more bloodier than most Full Moon movies, and there was a little more sexuality. I mean, that Charlie shies away from that to begin with.
Yeah. There's never been a problem there.
But it felt like the first couple nude scenes in that were kind of a little more risque than I'm used to with Full Moon.
No, definitely
popping the top and everything, but it was a little more risky, and it was like full on that one.
Oh
channel. But no, I enjoyed it, and that had me curious. Do you have anything that you're working on
Yeah,
full
funny
moon
you
or
should mention
otherwise.
again. I don't I can't get too specific, but yeah, I am working on one of the pulp noir titles.
Nice.
Actually, right before I came talking to you, one reason I was kind of running late is I got so busy writing on the script or rewriting some script. I was like, oh, I got to do the hang out with Greg. So I had to run to the bathroom and everything. But I am working on that, and fingers crossed, maybe, hopefully, we'll get some kind of a nice green light by the end of the year. More likely, maybe first of next.
That'd be cool. I
So
enjoy.
yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm having the luxury of having some time to work on the script. The script I got, I think it was like a second draft by another writer who we haven't worked with before. I haven't worked with. Have you met? And it was a great concept. I already liked the general concept, but I liked the script and what was cooking there. I'll say it's kind of got kind of a Brian De Palma-ish vibe to it.
Nice.
Um, and it again will be very dark, very different. I would kind of relate it to the very dark, nasty cousin of Bring Her to Me.
Oh, nice. And I
You know, I would say
enjoyed
it's kind
that.
of in the same universe world. A lot of similar themes to it, but again, going with the pulp noir theme and mentality, I'm letting myself like, okay, this is gross and gory, but let's take it up a notch. How far can we
Right.
go? You know,
Right.
I'm not going like Terrifier type of territory. I think that's maybe a little too much and whatever.
Mhm.
But when shit hits the fan, it's going to hit the fan and go everywhere and go through
Yeah.
another fan, go through the wall, and I'm gonna have a good time with it. I think you're gonna like it a lot, and hopefully I'll be able to announce it. I think once I get the script to where I like it, I'll officially put it out there to the world and everything. And if you really want to do your detective work, go to my Instagram and look at some of my current photos, and you might be able to crack that code too.
Oh,
I'll put it that way.
I'm gonna have to inspect.
Yeah. That's a shameless plug to go. Check out my posts and stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah,
check it out.
someone did. A good friend of mine, Mr. Charles Zimmerman, he did find the code and was like, "Oh, I see what you're doing there." I'm like, "Thank you. I'm glad someone noticed. I put all this time to compose this photo." But
Well, I've noticed some of your pictures here and there, so I have to look a little closer.
there you go. Yeah, so I've noticed yours as well. We've got a good little social following going
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But yeah,
But
no, I've definitely been working on that. Very excited. I hope to shoot that, with some anamorphic lenses, go for a real widescreen, real cool look. And I have some great ideas. Do so again, keeping with the full moon vibe, sensibility, but with a new kind of edgier, modern vibe to it.
that's cool. I do enjoy your stuff because I
Oh,
really
thank you.
from like Gingerweed Man to Bring Her to Me, which was a big tonal shift. To be honest
Oh
with you,
yeah,
it
no,
was.
I mean I was glad for that.
And yeah, and it shows you how you can handle like the comedy, like with the Gingerweed Man, and then like the like I think we talked about it, is like Red Shoe Diaries meets Tales from the Crypt. That's what
Yeah,
it felt like.
exactly.
Yeah, and plus when I was listening to your commentary, because I watched the commentary,
Oh, good,
like
good.
yeah, like some of the like influences you had, like the '70s stuff and everything you kept talking about, it really made me like think about the movie a little differently than I did
Oh,
when I
good.
first
That's
saw
what hopefully,
it.
yeah,
So
that
yeah,
repeat factor. Because
yeah,
again, when I was doing it, I had a certain kind of movie in my head, and when I got down to not so much the editing, but the coloring, and I realized, oh, this is really reminding me of the old Vincent Price, Edgar Allan Poe kind of Roger Corman productions.
yeah,
The look, the color, but again, just more updated, modern flavor. So I kept going like, oh, I'm seeing all these references I didn't even know I was making, but here I am making them, and
yeah.
I'm glad you saw them. And to me, that's the beauty of a good movie is you get your first enjoyment out of watching it, and then you can go back and either pick up little things you missed, or again hear, oh, he had this in mind, or they had this in mind, and oh, now I can watch it through that perspective.
Yeah, and it was I was digging that because I'm a huge fan of those type of movies, the Roger Corman like Edgar Allan Poe
Oh
movies.
yeah, well,
I
to
love
me, it's
those type
a
of
trade
movies.
benchmark of the horror cinema or horror genre, in my
Right.
opinion.
I can't. There's one I always think of, and I can never. I actually own it, and I can never think of the name. But it's an Edgar Allan Poe one with Vincent Price by Roger Corman, and it's also he took Lovecraft and mixed it together.
Oh, Haunted Palace.
Yes, A Haunted Palace.
Yeah,
Yes, I love that one. I
yeah.
love it.
I actually own a 35 millimeter film print of that movie. That's like the only film print I have. I found it on eBay for like $50,
Nice.
and I'm like, well, it's my favorite Vincent Price movie film print. Hey, there you go, $50. There you go.
That is crazy because that's one of my favorite Vincent Price movies. I saw it
I
like
think it's the best for me. It's the best one. I love the Lovecraft because I think it was based on what the case of Charles Dexter Ward.
Yes, yes.
And later they did that Resurrected with Chris Sarandon.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I love the music in that, and again, that kind of reminded me of the Bring Her to Me melodies, and I think I even used some of that as a reference for the composer Jonathan Walter. So
Nice.
just kind of listen to this kind of sound. I think that was maybe one of them. But yeah, no, I mean, again, after the fact, I was like, wow, I was really channeling the Corman Price love affair into this movie somehow, and
it works.
my main thing too was talk about the tonal shift was, I think at the time, Film Threat reviewed Ginger Weedman and gave it like a 0 out of 10 and said it was the worst thing to ever come out of Full Moon and Charles Band. And then with Bring Her to Me, they're like, okay, 8 out of 10. You've redeemed yourself. It's like I say, that tonal shift.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, hey, okay, cool. You can come back around. So I got my revenge at Film Threat.
I find that funny. I mean, I like Chris Gore. I like Film Threat. That's cool. But to be honest with you, I've seen worse from Full Moon than Ginger Weedman.
That's what floored me. I mean, at the time, I grew up with the magazine, so I was like devastated. I was like, no, they just kill it. I mean, they even like personal on me, like, oh my God, he shows his first time director. And then afterwards, I just started laughing because I was like, well, I got to be something to be the worst thing out of Full Moon. I'll take that as a badge of honor because you'll remember that.
Right. But I like I said, I've seen worse. I've seen way worse.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, hey, I think we all have it and whatever. And, to each their own, I mean, I have now have a little personal love hate with this reviewer. If it wasn't Chris Gore, I actually have met him at conventions. Super cool. Love him. And I almost want to like, what would you think, Chris Gore? But then I got this other guy who I'll deal with him in time enough.
Yeah. I've been wanting to talk to him too.
Yeah. We'll have a little group meeting, and he'll get a schooling.
Yeah. This is my friend Tom. What's up, Tom? Talking to Brooks Davis here. I guess I can say my good friend from Full Moon. Yeah. Alex here wants to know, speaking of when we talked to Lovecraft here a minute ago, he says, hi, Brooks, would you like to see the unmade movie Stuart Gordon, bloody bass pirate film starring Barbara Crampton, Vampire Pictures, right after From Beyond and Dolls?
Yeah, I would love to see any kind of unmade thing from Stuart Gordon. I mean, I know we've actually found some concept art from some projects that Gordon was, trying to get made. I think one was even the one he was trying to get made with Arnold Schwarzenegger at the time.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, I still would love to see a really good adaptation of The Shadow over Innsmouth that we were always promised for so long. But I don't know how much of that is really around or in Full Moon's possession.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a lot of that could be with his estate, his wife, or whoever handles that.
Yeah.
But we're actually going to be working with Barbara in about 2 weeks on our next film, Subscriber.
Oh, nice.
She and Bill Moseley are a part of that one.
Oh, nice.
So you have little, small parts, kind of, bring that horror icon character actors to it. So, we have lots of Barbara coming. And again, hey, anytime some vintage Barbara comes my way or our way, I'm definitely always game to check it out.
Yeah.
So.
That's pretty cool. Is that part of the Pulp Noir too with the Subscriber?
It was definitely announced as part of the lineup. I think this one might will exist, but might exist outside of our hemisphere. We'll see. I'm not too involved with it. I've been kind of helping a little bit here and there, but that will be Charlie's son Zalman Band writing and directing that one.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool though. I mean, like I haven't seen Barbara Crampton or Bill Moseley in a Full Moon movie in forever.
Yeah, no, it's a real coup, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I think they're almost like family. We've had them both on the Freak Show podcast, and obviously Crash and Burn, and Barbara just duh.
Yeah.
So and I think coming together for Charlie's son, I think it's going to be a great opportunity, and I think even for the fans, a great opportunity for the fans to see some good familiar faces. So I think that's the one thing I think of lacking in all our films is we kind of miss those character actors. I know, like I wanted Tim Thomerson to do a cameo in Ninja Weed Man, and would love to get some of these people, but just sometimes the budget's time, and unfortunately sometimes age. Some they're not around, or they're it's like when I'm retired, I'm not being on set for 12 hours. Kiss my ass.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. What was it like meeting Tim Thomerson? I know you were there when
fantastic.
Yeah,
for people who don't know, we did do a Freak Show podcast with Tim. It's up on the Patreon, so if you're part of our Patreon program for Pulp Noir, you can watch it right now. It will probably be up on Full Moon Features and excuse me, I'll itch on my nose. Full Moon
That's cool.
Features and YouTube probably in a couple months. But he's awesome. I have met him a few times before. Met him once at Comic Con working Full Moon, and he did a signing with us. And he is 100% who you'd want him to be. You know,
Nice.
it's Jack Death. It's Tim Thomerson. He's cracking jokes. He's he came in here and he found out where I lived, and he said, "Oh, hey, I used to go paddleboarding there," so we could relate to that and joke around. And I had an old concept Jack Death figure from back in the day,
Oh, nice.
and I had two of them, and I gave him one, and he was just like, "Oh my god, I got an action figure!" So he was loving that. So you'll see that in the interview coming up soon. But he's awesome. He's had been kind of under the weather, kind of some health issues, but he was, you'll see in the interview, he's going to be more livelier and so much fun, cracking Charlie up, and he's got tails. And I mean, he's been and done everything with everybody. So it was just a thrill. And for me, it's just a personal hero. Cause I mean, I grew up with Jack Death, grew up Brick Bardo, Dollman, all that stuff. And so, yeah, I'm just like a little fanboy kid when I'm around him. It's like, oh God, could you sign this? Get a picture with me, please.
I would have been the same way. Like,
it's hard not to with him too. It's just
right.
You just kind of melt because again, because sometimes hate meeting your celebrities because they can either be really cool or trying to be real dicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had that happen, but with him, it's exactly, it's Tim Thomerson. You can't go wrong.
I mean, Transfers is awesome, and I just watched Who's Harry Crumb.
Oh yeah,
he did that. He's great in that. He's like the surfer dumb boyfriend.
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a ton of those 80s, 90s movies where he was the goofy surfer guy or whatever. I mean, I'm Jekyll and Hyde together again, and he pops up as a doctor, the oversexed doctor in that one.
He's great. He's great. You know who I was thinking about from Full Moon that I haven't seen in years? Charlie Spaulding.
Yeah, no. It's funny to mention her. Because when we were at our old offices, I had a 8x10 of her at my desk because I found in storage. Oh, hey, good old Charlie.
Yeah.
I want to say I know she, she's done some conventions, probably not recently. She looks a lot different. I know she's got like blonde hair, a little older, obviously, but we don't have any contact. I mean, I don't know. Probably, who knows? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Lots of reasons why, but I would say keep an eye out on some of these conventions. You never know.
Yeah. I always thought she was smoking hot.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
This is like those Full Moon things she used to do, like the video zones or whatever. She used to. It was awesome.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would buy those T-shirts, whatever she was wearing.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys don't sell that. I was going to buy one of those on your guys' sale. You don't have the Full Moon T-shirt anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, those are usually the big sellers. Just general logo, whether it's corner or big one. Depending on the movie, those sell here or there. But yeah, you get a logo. And yeah, a hat too. So didn't you want to get a hat or something?
Yeah, I was going to buy a hat.
Yeah,
I forgot
we'll get you a hat because you help us out. But yeah, no, we need to get more shirts. I think that's just one thing, and it is costly. We want to put out the best shirts possible. Sometimes we haven't put out the best materials for a shirt. Even I have a few that I'm just like, oh man, it's kind of stiff.
I bought the Delirium shirt on your guys' sale.
Oh, okay.
The Delirium shirt, and I bought a couple. Speaking of Charlie, I bought what is that movie? I just watched it, Meridian.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I bought Meridian, and I bought Slime Babes, Sorority Babes, and Slime Ballrama Part 2.
Oh, there you go.
Some other stuff. Yeah, I had to get that when you guys' sale was on.
Yeah, good call on both.
Yeah. Tom wants a hat.
I tell you, hey Tom, get in line.
Well, I can write it up on Texas. No, but yeah,
maybe I'll send Greg too, and he can decide what to do with the other one. We'll see, Tom.
That's my good buddy. No, but yeah, speaking of movies, seen any good movies lately?
Sadly, nothing good. At least crazy good. I saw Cuckoo, which was okay. I don't want to spoil anything, but I would just say starts off great premise. Just missed the landing. Introduces I begin not giving anything away. Creature, and I like a good mystery. Who doesn't? But I need some kind of explanation or something about what this creature's doing, why it's doing what it's doing, and don't get any of that. You just get a great Dan Stevens performance because I like him. He's kind of almost to me kind of becoming a Vincent Pricey kind of an actor, popping up in these horror movies, kind of being those cool character parts. But overall, good filmmaking, looks great, but just kind of overall. Kind of felt the same way with Long Legs.
I was gonna say that feels like every movie lately. Like people's like, oh, this has got a good premise. It starts off and then it just.
Well, like with Long Legs, to me that had a great promotion, great commercials. You're like, what's Nicolas Cage? What does he look like? What's going on? And then again, I don't want to give anything away, but you get to the movie and there's a point in the movie where it takes a tonal shift or a character, story diversion, or it's many ways the story could have gone and it chose a very odd way to go. And I'm like, oh, wait, and so it kind of blew it for me. So to me, that was a lot of hype, and a movie with some good atmosphere and cinematography and a good Nicolas Cage performance. But it's almost like would love a lot more of it.
Right.
Instead of where they went with it.
I get that. This was just like I haven't myself, other than Deadpool and Wolverine, was.
Oh yeah, I did see that, which I love.
So that which I did love. I haven't really found myself going to the theater much because of. It's just like, yeah, that looks good, but I don't know. It just doesn't. It's not sparking that interest in me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of the same way. Like I said, Deadpool, Wolverine, I did see that, loved it, loved the cameos. I mean, Blade comes out, and I'm literally in the theater going, hell yeah, enough of these guys. I want to see more Blade. But yeah, back to the other stuff, same thing. I'm looking like it's a Friday, Saturday night. Let's go see a movie, and I'm like, crap. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then you hear a lot of the buzz, like, okay, this Long Legs is gonna be great. Oh my god, in this cage, so scary. Everyone's freaking out. And yeah, there's some good points to it, but as a whole, I just felt like it was like here's a lot of mystery without explanation, or a lot of just doesn't have to make sense, but it has to make sense, if that makes sense.
Right. Is it that elevated horror type stuff?
Yeah, I think a lot of the elevated horror, or however they want to call themselves, it's snobby. It's just like they want to create an air of mystery and suspense, and a lot of times they do that good. But horror, especially, it's kind of like, yeah, it's sex. You kind of foreplay, build up, and climax.
Yeah,
and I feel everyone can get you on a concept and hook you on a promo or a trailer. But then they can't deliver the overall concept. They can't, hit the landing. They're, again, Long Legs. You're going off on this weird tangent with Satan orbs and weird shit. I'm just like,
yeah. Just that's what I've heard. It's like I heard that all the hype surrounding it. I'm like, okay, maybe it could be good, and then all of a sudden, like after it came out, it sort of died down a little bit.
That's another factor too. Is one thing I've noticed, you'll see a movie and everyone will. Oh my god, I can't stop talking about this. It's the greatest movie ever. And when it comes out, and the next what happened? What? And hey, a movie that actually is popular, you'll hear, oh, people are saying, oh,
it continues.
Again, not a fan of it, but Terrifier, great example. It kind of comes out, and then next thing you know, it does well the first week, and then they're like, oh, hey, we're going to keep it in theaters. Does well. We're going to still keep it in theaters instead of like Long Legs, which has done well. Like, you can't argue that, but no one's, again, it's like, no big deal. Okay, it's made a lot of money. Moving on. What's next?
It's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, and especially this one, Cuckoo. There's a lot of hype around it, and it didn't do that well overall. And I think, again, it's such kind of a letdown with the ending because it's such a good premise with everything that I think the general public, when they go see it, will be like,
Yeah. Although I did love Dan Stevens in The Guest. That's a good movie.
Yeah. I like him. He's one of those few actors who I kind of like in anything. Even one of my friends didn't like him in this Cuckoo. And it said, oh, he plays a cliched character. I said, well, yeah, character's cliched, but I like Dan Stevens. And I loved him in Kong Godzilla. He's this crazy, whacked out, veterinarian. And there's this great scene where they put the bionic arm on Kong, the Kiss song and everything. And it's like, would have been the stupidest thing ever, but it's Dan Stevens, so you buy it.
Yeah.
And then, I think The Guest was a great chilling, performance that, you kind of want to root for the killer, but at the same time, it's like, well, he's this killer,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and it's like you were speaking about how like a movie has to have like a gets you in there, get it going,
Yeah,
and you have the climax. That does that for you, but it also leaves you with the right amount of like questions of like, was he really this guy or was he not this guy?
that's
Or he
just it.
was this
Yeah, you
guy?
have to. It's all, to me at least. It's all about a good balance. You have
Yeah,
to create a air of mystery. You want to hook people, and you want to keep them involved for your running time, 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever.
yeah,
And but at the same time, you need to really think how you're going to wrap it up. Is it? And it's got to be greater than all the hype and mystery. I'm
yeah.
not going to sit there for 2 hours and then be like, "That's it."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's good about to take it back to Full Moon. That's what's
Oh,
good about your guys' movies is like it starts a lot of them does start with like sort of a mystery and everything, and then by the
yeah.
end of the movie, you know everything. Sometimes, yeah, maybe it's a little like, oh, I knew that was coming, but other times it's like, and there's just something about the way you guys make those movies that I enjoy. So,
Well, I think too the branding and the sensibility. It's comfort movies.
mhm.
If you like these type of movies, again, you see the cliches, and you can even say, "Oh, hey, you used to do it better back in the '90s." Which, hey, hey, you had the budget and everything,
Yeah,
but you still, it's like I still like seeing Blade. Yeah, sure, Blade was
yeah,
running around and Puppet Master 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever, and now he's just doing this. But you still, I can't help but I still get excited when I see him even in the new movies. It's like,
yeah, yeah,
hey, even the Blade Iron Cross, where he was a little bigger and whatever. I know he got some bad rap on that one,
yeah,
but again, even subspecies, I'm happy seeing Radu, coming out of the woodwork.
yeah,
So I think again, it's hooking a newer crowd to appreciate that kind of stuff. Fans who grew up with it and like it, it's an instant. Hey, it's again comfort food.
yeah.
They appreciate, or they can tell the difference when a movie is bad and when a movie is bad but good.
Hmm.
They're either in on the joke or they're like, oh my god, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
Newer audiences, I think it's a harder time because they just have a different sensibility. They didn't have the blockbusters to go and see these movies on the shelf and be like, oh, what's up? Now they have a streaming site with so much artwork, and unless you're paying whatever site the big bucks to put your thing front and center, our movies
yeah,
get lost in the woodwork. Everyone's movies get lost in the woodwork.
yeah,
And again, there's another telltale sign. You look at Netflix; they're promoting this movie this week. Rebel Moon, another great example. The first part of that, they were promoting that left and right, everywhere you look. Rebel Moon, Rebel Moon came
yeah,
out, got bad reviews, and they just released a director's cut, and that's it, nothing.
yeah, yeah.
Canceled Army of the Dead sequels and spinoffs. So it's just
No.
it's just a tough world to navigate because there's just so much out there, and it was nicer going to the video store and you had limited. Yeah, these were your horror movies, these were your action movies.
Yeah, and I mean, there was something to be said. Like, I do miss those days and everything because there was something to be said about the straight to video market, which you know, you guys made a huge. The Full
Yeah,
Moon you made a big. There was something about that, like because you would have like these movies like that mixed in with the big budget movies. I don't know. It just feels so much different than going through page after page after page of streaming, which is why I really don't do it. Other than I do
I
have,
100% agree.
yeah,
I mean, nothing beats going and discovering. Back in the day, no, this generation will never know the joy of Friday night or Saturday afternoon, going through, looking at the box, picking it, putting the
yeah,
movie, whatever, even if it was a DVD. And again, like you said, it felt like a more of an even playing field because you had good artwork in the same box next to a B list movie, next to an A movie.
mm-hmm.
You know, people were like, "Oh, hey, cool, check it out." And again, even if I think you look at the quality of those direct-to-video movies back in the day, they're just better quality.
Yeah,
I think one problem is, while the technology has made it more accessible and a lot more people can make movies, which is awesome, and I
mm-hmm.
encourage it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the downside is you get a lot of bad movies in return.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks video, bad CGI effects, corny music. I don't think we quite have the B movie stars we used to have.
That's yeah. I was
You know
just
what I
thinking
mean?
about
We don't
that.
have a Tim Thomerson. We don't have, this. We don't have scream queens really.
Yeah.
We got final girls, stuff like that. But you don't have so and so's erotic workout like Linnea Quigley.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have anyone. Every now and then you get your Sharknado as a B movie, but you don't have someone really turning out B movies. There's not a place for B movies. And again, it's so much scrolling on a page on a computer screen. No one wants to go more than 5 pages into a thing.
Yeah.
You're like 1, 2, 3. You just go to recently added. You scroll that first row of movies. You recognize something or you don't, or you go directly for what you want.
Exactly. I mean, like Fred Olin Ray actually just said something very similar to what you just said about how the B movies that he used to make are dead. They're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there's still a B movie area, but the old hats like Charlie Band
Mhm.
and Jim Wynorski and him, and they're gone. They're not.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore,
Well,
which is
yeah,
sad.
no, it's like you said, it's almost the a elevated horror is kind of taken over.
Yeah.
And the A24's neons, yeah, they're big. They're to me, they're still big budget. I don't care what you say. Yeah, they're lower budget, but you're millions.
Right.
And you don't have the little tiny companies that were churning out Warnarski stuff, putting out the Fred Olin Ray movies. Because again, you'd go to Blockbuster back in the day, and it'd be Nightmare on Elm Street, and then Evil Tunes, or some
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I was one of the few guys that would, if I saw Fred Olin Ray's name or Wynorski's name, I'm grabbing it first thing. It's like, okay, I'm going
Right.
to at least see some fun, and I'm going to see some character actors, some hot women, and
Mm-hmm.
we have a good time. And again, it goes back. I go back to it. You don't have the character actors really anymore.
No.
I even seen in the big budget movies. We don't have villains. I mean, even I would be my only complaint with Deadpool Wolverine was there's no real villain even in that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're having too much fun, you don't care. But Marvel still, in my opinion, doesn't know what they're doing with villains at all.
No.
They're always people with, childhood trauma, and then they're saved at the end of the day. And I mean, I'm hoping Downey Jr. does Doctor Doom the way he should do Doctor Doom, but the casting alone already has me worried.
Right.
You know,
That's Marvel for you. It's like they take one step forward with Deadpool, and then they like bring it all back to where it was crap again.
well, I think the problem is Deadpool Wolverine works, but it's unfortunately it's the pandering that they're doing that's not working in other things.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we wanted to see Hugh Jackman come back. We definitely want to see. I mean, I know I want to see Wesley Snipes. It was great to see Channing Tatum do his thing.
Right.
Electra, that was cool. But then you go back to some of the other stuff, and it's like, okay, I don't care. I don't care who pops up in the Marvels. No one cared about the Marvels. No one cared about the Eternals. And already, no one cared about Ant-Man. Already, no one cared about Kang. So he already had a law problem, so he's gone. And so now I think they're on this crutch of like, we have to keep bringing back all these old timers.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to bring back Downey Jr. Who knows? I mean, I'm guessing he's going to be a Stark variant who became Doctor Doom instead of Iron Man.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's really weird. Here's a good question for you.
Yeah, here we go. Clark the Shark.
He says, Brooks, while producing planning, how do you anticipate or factor in special effects versus practical effects that he actually meant from an editing standpoint?
For me personally, I plan well ahead and anticipate. When I'm writing the script, first and foremost, I won't put a gag, effect gag in unless I know it can be done, either by myself or by an effects crew, or I have to at least have an understanding of how to do that effect. This will be practical. This will be, After Effects or, Fusion or, some good old fashioned trickery.
Right.
So that's already planned out in the script. Especially with the low budgets, I have to think that way because I'd rather write to what I know. And if I know I can do a cool effect, let me write it instead of write a cool effect and realize I can't do it. Now it's going to turn out to be crappy and disappointing. And then, of course, if you're doing visual effects, whether it's After Effects, other programs, you really have to kind of do a bit of a previs. You kind of know you have to have your shots planned out because a lot of times that hurts your shot. Because again, if you don't have it framed or composed right, specifically for the effect, it's going to look weird. You'll see that in a lot of movies where feet aren't touching or, the director who just freebirding it. instead of like, okay, here's the shot. We all agree this is going to cameras here, here, blah blah blah. Okay, we can do our magic. Instead, they're like, no, we're going to improv, and now the effects guy's going, oh my god, I can't track this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of had that with Bring Her to Me because I didn't use tracking marks for the flying bed. It was just against black, and the effects guy was like, oh my god, how do I track? Oh my god. We figured it out and everything, but those things you have to plan for, and I think a lot of people don't, because I don't think they under that. I mean, again, when you're a director, you need to. I believe you need to know every department, and you need to know how every department works, and especially how they're going to work for you.
Right.
So, like effects, makeup effects, I want to know. I'm going to tell them what I want. They're going to tell me what they can do with the budget, and then first thing is how long is that going to take,
Right.
so I can start my day around that. And same thing with visual effects too. It's like, okay, I want this building to explode. Okay, I know I can't blow it up, but I have little generators that can explode, shit like that. So I'll line up the shot like, okay, I want it this degree because I know this explosion can come out this way, and I can kind of cover up some of this shit like that. So I believe you should plan it before you start shooting. You can't wing it with effects. If you wing it, you get lucky, great. But you have to, again, even with just basic filmmaking, you gotta have a roadmap. You gotta know what you're doing, or else you're lost.
Yeah, not that it's special effects, but I did like hearing on your commentary how you talk about how with low budget dialogue is your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it because you could have probably made the scenes in your movies a lot longer with a lot of the dialogue, but I like how you said you had to cut it down. It's your good friend, low budget, but I liked how you blended the dialogue with like how you was just talking about the special effects and everything. So it's nice to know how that all works together like that.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, again, dialogue's cheap. That's why we do it. But again, one thing to keep in mind is, like, I had a 6-page scene in Bring Her to Me. And, you break that, you kind of break it down. Rough math is, when you have your screenplay, 1 page is equivalent to 1 minute of screen time and 1 hour of work. So if you've got a scene that's 6 pages, you have to kind of figure that's going to be 6 hours of your day, getting your coverage, getting your shots you need, la, la, la. And that sucks on a low budget movie when you've got like 20 pages to do and X number of hours before you hit overtime.
Yeah.
So, it's about trimming the dialogue, but of course, also when it came down to that particular scene in my movie was how do you make it visually interesting? Because again, at the end of the day, it was people on a couch talking heads back and forth, which you could easily do, but how many times you can cut close up, wide. And so I kind of, had the opening shot where they kind of come in. So I kind of hooked you. And then she's laying down. Then she sits up. I got a couple angles. I had the guy in the corner. So maybe you're focused on him at some points. And I had close-ups of him. So you kind of help break it up.
And she was in her underwear.
That's planning, blocking. I mean, if anyone's interested in just general overall blocking of a scene, watch Spielberg movies.
Yeah.
Especially early Spielberg, his TV stuff, Columbo's Night Galleries, which I did for Bring Her to Me because they're master classes of not a lot of money, but master shot and composition and how to work the camera and work people. So you're getting a lot of that dialogue exposition in there, but it's visually interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number one rule I have is I can't forgive someone with just a boring, plain frame shot, whatever. There's no excuse for it anymore. Your movie can suck, but it better at least look good. I have a lot of movies in my collection that truly suck. I even don't like, but I can pull out and watch because I love their photography. I love that shot. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. Again, it's just you have to plan.
Yeah, and you did have good colors when they're in the room, like with the red offsets, the background and everything. Like I think her living room was like red and her kitchen was blue or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, no, I mean that was kind of unexpected. That's kind of where you have the unexpected blessings of things working out for you because I did a lot of color kind of theory. Like reds mean something. The blacks that they're wearing at the end mean death because they're coming to get her. And like when Abigail is nice, she's like in a purple calming color. And then I lucked out with her apartment having the red. And then what I really liked was that kitchen wasn't really a kitchen; it was just kind of a little fake wall with tile and the stove there.
Yeah.
But with the red, it was nice and white. So there's
Mhm.
that beautiful shot where she's on the phone, and she's framed in red, but she's in the white, rectangle of the kitchen,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's your focus. And while the overall place is very small, which kind of sucked for getting kind of wide shots that I would have liked, it had kind of a depth. So that's why you see a lot of the scenes where, down here and down here into another room, because I couldn't do it the other way. It would be too compact. You feel the closeness of this room, but if I shot long ways, you'd see into the kitchen, you'd see into the bedroom, and you have that bit of depth. And again, the colors worked out that way. And once I picked that location, then my brain started tuning, like, okay, how can I play that to my advantage?
Right.
But yeah, no, I think a lot of people, again, don't tune into colors or don't pay attention. And whether that's filmmakers or audience, sometimes the audience doesn't get, why is that color red? This looks cool.
Yeah.
And me, again, if it just looks cool, cool. But I always, hopefully it's going to look cool, but like you say, do your digging. You'll be, oh, there's another meaning to it. Oh, let me watch it now, knowing the reds mean this. And,
Yes.
my favorite bit was the Mara character, the main character, she's got the camouflage tank top on.
Mm-hmm.
And before, I literally just bought that because I was like, well, it's cool. It's camouflage. It looks good on her. And then I thought, oh, hey, wait a second. She's wearing this because she's actually a demon. And in the movie, she's camouflaged to look human. So there's a little symbolic. She's camouflaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pulling pretentious filmmaking strings out of the air there, but, it makes
It
it sound
works.
cool.
It
It's
works. I
believable.
mean,
Yeah. It makes me sound like I know what I'm doing.
that's why I love a good. That's honestly, that's one of the reasons why I love a good Blu-ray or with special features, because you get the commentary and it makes you think of the movie so much different. Like I said, when I listened to your commentary after watching it, because I watched it and I had my own thoughts, and then after
Yeah.
listening to your commentary, I was like, oh, now I see this. I see that. I get. That's why I love special features and I love a good commentary on a Blu-ray. So much better than streaming.
No, no. Well, to me, it was my film school. I can afford film school, but I could afford a John Carpenter Laserdisc and
Right.
listen to how he did. Learn about the Texas Switch, and learn about, oh, I did this, and no big deal. This is New York. Cut the black. Now we're in L.A. I'm like, my mind's blown, into him. It's just like, yeah, it's another day at the office. I'm John
Yeah.
Carpenter.
I'm gonna play some video games. Fuck
Whatever.
this.
My mind's blown. Like, holy crap. And I wish there would be more commentaries that are like that, informative. And I've definitely had my opinion of a movie change, from, again, it's something I maybe like and I'll revisit it, but I'll listen to the commentary or read an interview and I'm like, oh, okay, you're trying to do that. Well, I may still think that was stupid. Not my cup of tea or the direction I would have gone, but
Right.
I can now watch a movie knowing, oh, you meant to do that. Or that's why that's that way. So,
Yeah.
okay, I don't like it, but okay, I see what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I get it.
Or it's like, oh, again, like say, oh, yeah, that never even occurred to me. That's why. Okay, yeah, I do like it.
Yeah. But
So no, I
that's
think it's a good thing, and yeah, it's again, it's just kind of like that cool little film school thing, you don't have anymore.
that's true. And that's becoming an increasingly rare thing on studio releases, is we're getting less and less of those special features and commentaries. Luckily a lot of the older movies have commentaries already, so they
Yeah,
kind of just keep rolling them over. So at least that's a good thing.
yeah, no, you definitely get that, but like I say, like to me, it's disappointing that the new Dune movies. Not a big fan of them, but I'd love to see all this extra footage.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the director is a real big. Oh, I don't do extra footage. Just it's deleted, it's gone forever. I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
why.
asking you to redo the movie, but yeah, I'd like to see Tim Blake Nelson's scene from Dune. I'd
Yeah.
like to see what you got there. And they won't do commentaries because they don't want to let all the tricks out of the bag. And you don't have to do all that. You can still talk. I mean, I personally, if I could, I would have loved to have done a Ginger Weed Man technical commentary like I did, and then one where I just get the cast and we just get loaded or high.
Yeah.
You just shoot the shit.
That movie
It'd be fun.
that movie deserves a commentary like that.
Yeah,
Just
no, exactly. I just didn't have time, and it was
uh,
COVID time anyway, so I couldn't.
yeah.
By law, I'd probably get arrested. And I'm sure probably during the commentary, I was probably a little, on the high side too. So there's a little bit there. But I mean, yeah, more and more of these special features, you get standard press kits or whatever. you're not getting a lot of the meat and bones of what you'd like to get, or at least what some of us would like to get. And I think
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. Again, it's just this new generation we have to deal with, who, no fault of their own, they just know streaming,
Yeah.
and they don't know to go to the extras page and go, oh hey, there's more, or no one's down including behind the scenes on downloads.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough of the new generation has the attention span to sit through a commentary unless they want to.
Yeah. It's that high. What's that? Fast paced, high, quick. Just boom, 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 right there. It's to you. Moving on to the next.
Yeah, you're lucky if they even get through the movie or they're even paying attention to the movie. I mean, so many times I'm at a screening of a movie, and inevitably there's someone on their phone throughout the movie, not giving a shit. I'm like, why are you here?
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
that
Well,
important. And it frustrates me. I want to beat the shit out of them, throw them out of the theater, but I stop and remind myself it's just that generation. They just don't know any better.
right.
They've
Right.
never been raised any better. I had a mom that would, slap my head. Now
Right.
everyone's afraid to slap their kid. No one wants
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. My mom would have just knocked the shit out of me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even have a phone as a kid. It would be, you need to make a
Yeah.
call, give me a quarter.
Yeah.
So again, it's just a whole different generation. I think that's the one thing that will separate. And I think we're seeing a lot of this transitional shift of how people are, again, I think we even touched on it before, how people are taking in or inputting their content, their entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have people who know. People now just feel like a movie is on their TV. They don't understand. No, you need to see a movie in the theater first, like we used to do.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
magical. You see a movie and then pray it came out on video.
Oh yeah.
Usually it was like a year later.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot here. It's like
Yeah.
it's something about it makes the heart grow fonder because like you remember when you were going to see a movie in a theater and you were pumped for it, you were
Yeah.
excited, and
It
you
was an
saw
event.
it. Yeah, and then maybe you went back, or maybe it's like no, I want to wait for the release, and then it's like you got to wait 6 months, eight
Yeah.
months, a year. Now it's like 2 weeks in the theaters, it's on digital.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Why
no, I
bother?
mean, it's again, we made all our content disposable.
Yeah,
Again, nothing's special, nothing's an event, nothing's treasured. And again, I'll point and marvel. There's guilty culprits, movie here, movie there. So even when they do, here's Downey Jr. back as Doctor Doom in Avengers movies, you're just like, whatever.
yeah, and
Okay, yeah, or Star Wars, even worse, like, oh, hey, you're gonna screw that up now. Okay, great.
yeah, yeah,
It's no one cares, and like you said, the movie will come out in a theater. You go see it, you're excited. Hey, I want to go back and see it. It's gone. Oh, because it's on video on demand. Oh, it's on
yeah,
Blu-ray already.
yeah. It's already
And
there.
it's like so people. Problem is with that mentality, people. Well, I'll just wait for it to come out. I'm going to spend
Hmm.
$20 at the theater. I can stream it for, or even worse, I'll wait till it's free somewhere,
Yeah,
and then I'll
yeah,
watch it with shitty commercials and whatever.
yeah,
And that's just the average mentality. No one cares.
yeah. It's true. It's true.
There are other things they care about. I mean, they rather want to make sure their Super Bowls on the big ass TV in 4K
Yeah,
around
yeah.
sound, but the movie, no big deal to them.
Yeah, that's sad. But Random Brad here does bring up something I have wanted to ask you because he talks about the latest
Yeah.
Harryhausen box set. What was that like to be part of the new Primevals? Because I know you posted it on
Oh yeah, yeah.
your Instagram there that you got to be a little stunt man real quick.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was exhilarating because I'll age myself. I mean, I remember reading about that way back in the old
Hmm.
Cinefantastique magazine days, the early Full Moon days. I mean, that was the crown jewel of Full Moon, was this movie, The Primevals, and stop motion. I mean, at that time, stop motion was still a big thing. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I remember that's when I did my tour of the Full Moon Studios at the time, met Charles Band. And at the end of it, they had the Yeti skeleton that you see in the movie, the full, 9-foot skeleton in this soundstage. So you're just like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this is going to be the be all end all movie. And then nothing, it's like, and it was I always followed it. And I always felt like, well, the movie must be lost. They don't have the elements to finish it, whatever. And then I remember when I started working at Full Moon, interning, and I was in storage, and I found some like old 3/4 inch tapes that were labeled Primevals, and I thought, oh hey, holy shit, the movie's here.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah, we know it's here, we just don't have the money to finish the effects and blah blah blah. And then so it was just an honor to be able to hold a copy of a rough cut work print. It was like, this would just be cool. Why don't we do something with this? So, as time went by, which was pretty quick, full moon terms, when he went ahead and, funded the finishing, I was just stoked, be a part of that, helping bring in C stands and seeing where they're doing some of the new stop motion and seeing some of the original sets, stop motion sets and pieces they used. I was just like, holy shit, this is cool.
Yeah.
And so down the line, when Chris Endicott gave me a call and said, hey, can you do a stunt? We have a shot that needs a stunt performed. And I'm like, oh, yeah, why not? And did you freeze up? Oh, no, you're moving.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
now.
it kind of glitched in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you started glitching. I was ready, but you're good. So yeah, back to it. So Chris Endicott called me and said, hey, we need this stunt filmed. And ended up, I went to a house. It was weird. It was shot in someone's backyard. They rented like a little scaffold. Oh, there you go again. I got you again.
Yeah, it's starting to do this. It happens sometimes. I apologize.
Okay, hey, am I still going, or is it just you freezing up, or?
It's just me. It's on my end. You're good. You're coming in through. I'm the one freezing up.
Okay, hey, no, we'll warm you up. So I'll keep going. So anyway, so yeah, we're in this guy's backyard. I'm put on this Sherpa outfit wig, and I climbed the scaffold, and and the hard part was I had it was not professional in any way. It was basically like a mattress on the ground, and I basically had to not just fall backwards, but I had to kind of because the Yeti hits the ground, so I had to kind of pop up and fall back. And so that's what took me a while to do that. And then we did a close up where I hit snowy ground. And then, I thought, oh, this will be cool. But then when I realized I was actually in a shot with the stop motion Yeti, that was just like, holy crap, that's like another kid's dream come true. And that it looked good, played good. So that was just a really great honor to be able to say I followed this movie from conception all the way to completion, and physically not just be a part of the behind the scenes, but be in it, even just the back of my head.
That's cool. That's cool to hear. Because I was like, when I saw the you post that, I was like, oh, that's got to be cool. That had to be like a fun experience.
It was surreal because, yeah, I mean, I was first time as a stuntman, but yeah, I was just like, how is this working in? And then it was like, oh no, you're attacked by the Yeti. I'm like, am I attacked? Oh, this is going to be cool. But I had no clue. You have a shot with me here, and here's the Yeti roar. I'm like, holy shit, this was cool in any regard, but Primeval is even better.
That is cool. That makes me jealous.
Oh yeah, as you should be. I mean, like I said, my little claim to fame, but I'll take it. I mean, now we just need to get Dungeon Master 2 restored and out there or something.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Or that little segment of Pulse Pounders.
Yeah, I bet you. I mean, you guys probably got a lot of stuff, right? That's probably could use a little working on here.
I mean, I'd say, it would be nice to see like that Transfers 1.5 City of Lost Angels cleaned up. Mm-hmm. But I think the problem is that all that's left is a VHS work print, and that's probably as best as that's going to get. Between that Evil Clergyman and Dungeon Master 2 segment, which probably doesn't even have finished effects on top of that.
Yeah.
But, I still had a curiosity level. That'd be still great to see, but it's more bonus feature-y kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As far as any other Lost movies, no, I'm not sure of any. It would be nice, again, to kind of see some of the classics restored for Blu-ray. We just did Shadow Zone and Seed People. And I was never a big Seed People fan. I always thought that was kind of like, whatever. But I looked at the remaster, and again, I was like, this looks better than I remember it being. I'm going to check this movie out. Still got weird little guys in seed pods rolling around. But, amazing what a new, bright remaster can do for an old movie. And, I'd like to see Crash and Burn. I know Bad Channels is one. Everyone's got their favorites. There's a lot of stuff that can be done. So, I think we have room for that, and who knows, we might be seeing more of that coming next year.
That'd be good. I mean,
if you guys buy more Shadow Zones and Seed Peoples and Primevals, that's the
I do. I mean, I buy from you guys anytime there's something good come out that I remember that I see.
Oh, I
Like I
checked the website. I checked your address. I checked for Greg.
there you go, there you go. Because I do,
I said,
I
I know
need
he
to.
gets those review copies, but he better buy a T-shirt at least.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I do,
I know
but I still
Scandal
buy
hooks
from
him
you.
up, but come on.
Yeah. I still buy from you guys. Like I said, I just bought from your sale. I plan on probably buying Ginger Dead Man because I know that just came out. I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
got
yeah.
that yet.
Great chance for on that.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I would say hold off on buying the single release of that.
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking of.
unless you just want a lot of stuff on your shelf. But you know,
Yeah, and I was
yeah, we
thinking
talk
about.
about double dipping. That's a word of warning.
That's true. That's true. I was thinking about getting Netherworld too. I haven't
Oh
seen
no, that
Netherworld.
again, that was another one. I remember as a kid watching. I remember just a hand flying around. And I
Yeah,
remember renting that one because again, I would rent these full moon movies at the time, and I was like, liked them, but I was like, I gotta see boobies. This is like my booby
yeah,
passport to the booby world. And remember, like, okay, this one's a little weird. It doesn't have puppets, and it was a bird
yeah,
people in it. And I remember had the gal from Passenger 57. She was the Wesley Snipes co-star, but she was like one of the
yeah,
voodoo gals. So I was like, cool.
yeah.
But again, and Robert Sampson from Reanimator, he was the old creepy guy. But then once I saw the remaster, I was like, well, this is interesting, and like again, low budget, full moon, but it like looks good and almost like looks better than it should.
Yeah.
Sometimes I watch some of these low budget movies. I'm like, you don't have any right looking this good, but God bless you.
Yeah, they do. I mean, there's like I said, even there's something special about the Full Moon brand, even from the old to the new. There's just something about the way they look and the way they come across, the way they
Yeah.
feel. I don't know what it is, but it's just I love it. It
Well, again,
speaks to
that's
me.
the one thing I always will say, and I think that's what's kept us around so long is whatever you want to say about Charles Brand and his entertainment is everything you can look at, whether he's directly directed it or it's been someone else, Ted Nicolau or whoever. It all feels the same. It really was like the first kind of real cinematic universe in a weird way because
Yeah,
everything felt like it. Trenches is happening here in LA, and over New Orleans is Netherworld's happening, and over here in Bodega Bay we got fucking puppets running around, and in Transylvania Radu's kicking. I mean, would be ripe for an epic full moon, multiverse,
yeah,
uh,
that'd
you
be
know,
cool.
real thing happening. I mean, 100 fans would go nuts, but it would be epic. Um,
Yeah, I'm
but
surprised you guys
I,
have
I
never
think,
done that.
but yeah, I know at the time there was a lot of we don't want to mix some certain properties, to preserve the integrity.
Hmm.
But hey, Dollman, Demonic Toys, fuck, I'm gonna go at it.
Yeah,
But yeah, where we were going again with that?
the universe you were
Oh yeah, oh no, going back to the charm of Full Moon was all these movies I always say had a bit of a whimsical factor. Probably outside of Stuart Gordon's movies because those are always like the dark hardcore, and
yeah, yeah.
those would be kind of like the old pulp noir kind of movies that we're trying to
Hmm.
make now. But everything always had that kind of whimsy to it, and not like childish or anything. I mean, the Moonbeam movies, obviously, but
Yeah, yeah.
there was always just again, it was with the puppets, or there was just something that was a constant thread through Full Moon Charles Band movies that you didn't see in other low budget movies. You
Hmm.
didn't see that even like Fred Olen Ray Wynorski stuff. You'd see corny humor, boobies,
Hmm.
whatever. But those just as much as I like those two guys, sometimes you couldn't tell who was who. Was this an Olen Ray
Yeah,
movie? Was it a Wynorski movie? Sometimes they're working together. I don't know. But
yeah.
you watch Charles Band, and whether it was Richard Band's music or just the way they were shot or played out or just the stories. I mean, there's always some weird fantasy element. I mean, even Puppet Master, it's about killer puppets, but really it's about mind psychics and mind control. And Tourist Trap, another one, should be a weird
Yeah.
killer in the backwoods, but no, hey, I got telepathic powers and I make wax dummies. And it's, what?
Chuck
What's going
Connors,
on
man.
here? And the movie opens with a guy getting attacked with flying shit, and you're like, what's going on? Like even Netherworld's another great example. It's like, okay, voodoo, but there's a flying hand, there's bird people, and what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Um,
Weird.
my toys, there's little tiny puppet people. It's just there was just that whimsical factor that just wasn't present, or I don't think done well enough.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it just to his credit, however he did it intentionally or not, there was that weird brand branding. You know, just a Charles. I mean, it's no coincidence. His name was like one of the first names to resonate with me as a young moviegoer. You know, it was John Carpenter. For some reason, Michael Cimino, because it was a Michael Cimino movie.
Yeah.
But I would see, you know, these low budget movies, and every single one of them was produced Charles Band. You know, Reanimator, Charles Band, From Beyond, Charles Band, Trolls, Charles Band, Ghoulies, Charles Band.
Yeah.
Then I'm Full Moon, Charles Band. Oh, he's got video zones. Okay, everything Full Moon, Charles Band, Charles Band. And there he is talking to you like he's your best friend.
Yeah.
I think that's, again, what really has separated him from a lot of these other low budget guys that have gone way the dodo was, you know, you felt like Charles Band was talking to you at the end of these movies. You know, he realized you're my fans and I'm talking to you, and here's what I got coming for you. Get excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you definitely don't see that anymore. I mean, I'd love for him to do more of that himself.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, that I love that kind of William Castle showmanship. You don't see that anymore. You know, I mean, you have your stars do their thing, but you know, you don't have these crazy directors who just did crazy shit, or you went because the director was involved. William Castle made a movie, I got to see it, or whatever it's about, I don't care. You know, Charles Band made a movie, I got to go see it, whatever. Oh, you froze again on me.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all good. I hear you.
Frozen. Can you hear me?
You're pixelating back to me.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll get ready to close down since the internet's coming on. We're going on for an hour here, but yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah, it's all good.
I agree.
God's way of saying, "Hey, guys, go back to your normal life."
This upset because you was talking about how Charles Band talks to you. Like I had a great time talking to him, but I didn't get to talk to him like I wanted to because of my stupid ass internet.
Well, yeah, that's just it. You know, you know, there's always going to be something stupid happening, or again, it's almost like like with Tim Thomerson, you're like, you're just again, you're starstruck. I mean, it doesn't happen a lot. And one thing nice working in this industry, I've learned to overcome it because you've got to work with these people. But there's just times where you can't help but I'm starstruck. I gotta, you know, whatever you want, Mr. Thomerson. Who you want me to kill? What do you need? You want all the money I have in my pocket? I love you. Please come to my house. Be my friend.
Yeah. It's just like,
and even with Charlie, so this day I work for him. There are times it's like, hey, can we be buddies? Hey, you know what's going on? I mean, you'll see it coming up next week. We did a little fun thing with Joe Bob Briggs and Darcy the Mail Girl for Quadrant.
Oh, nice.
And I think we announced in our little email blast today, they had a little screening at Charlie's new house for Quadrant with some fans. So, you know, it was, and then afterwards, Charlie, you know, took me out to dinner. So I'm hanging out at his house with Joe Bob, watching Quadrant in Charlie's screening room. Next thing I know, I'm with Charlie and his wife at a Chinese restaurant. You know, it's 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, this is surreal. If you asked me, would I even be working for the man, let alone he's hanging out, you know, buying me Chinese at 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. I love it, but it's just odd, you know, just never would have dreamt it. You know, and like you said, I would love to be able to, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, you know.
Right. Yeah. It was like, I was so excited. I was like, I'm getting to talk to Charlie Brand. I grew up on his stuff. I got 20 minutes. What can I say? It was
like one of your top 3 interviews too you wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I wanted to do Rhonda Shear, Charlie Brand, and I do want to do Joe Bob. And I got 2 of the 3. And I'm like,
there you go.
Holy shit. How'd that happen?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I do. I appreciate you, man. It's always a blast to have you on the channel.
Always my pleasure, Greg. We got to do it more often. I know I get busy and distracted, but we always will come through here. But always a pleasure, and you know, hopefully the internet will work better next time too, and you'll get a round 2 with Charlie and all that with awesome. Fiber optic, crystal clear.
Yeah, they're supposed to be bringing out fiber optic out here. I live out in the boonies, so
well, yeah, that's what we'll do it.
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
Hopefully they'll get it by time for Death Streamer and you should be all set.
Yeah, yeah. But I do appreciate it, and I got to finish the documentary I'm making with you in it.
I can't wait for that. Yeah, I mean that's the big tease there. I keep waiting for you on that, but take your sweet time. Don't want to rush perfection.
You're a great editor. I'm a one-person show. Everything on this channel is done by me and me alone. And on top of that, I have to work. I have to take care of kids. And I have to do other things. So, like, it's a simple documentary that should have been done a while ago. But I have to find time to edit.
Hey, and applaud to you. I mean, you know, since I've been doing your show and met you, I'm on YouTube and I'm amazed constantly. You almost got a video out every day. Right. You know, I mean, I know that's kind of what YouTubers have to do, to keep going and stay in that algorithm. But I mean, hats off to you. I know a lot of people recycle shit or, give you new, crappy content, but you've got a new video, even if it's long or whatever, or sometimes you'll take these interviews, chop them up. You're delivering something. So, hey, kudos to you. And again, we all have our own lives to deal with. I mean, even at full moon or, I'm trying to do full moon work on my script, and then trying to like play with my new lenses and do this and that. And I'm still like, oh my God, there's no time in the day.
Exactly.
So, hats off to you, you're doing good. And, congrats with Ron this year and, getting with her and doing a show with her and doing some stuff with her. I mean, as you're seeing, his hard work is paying off. Slowly but surely. But again, if you're consistent and keep up with it and you love it, your time comes. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. When it may not be quickly, but it's going to come. I mean, I turned 50 at the end of the month, and finally my time's coming. I would love to have happened
Hey,
at
you're
20
doing
or
good.
30.
You're doing great.
Thank you, sir. But like I said, you're doing great, and I applaud you and congratulate you, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you. And I'm probably glitching again if you can
It's
tell.
all good. I'm used to it by now. You just gotta have like a little booby icon that
I'm
comes up whenever
trying.
you freeze. Just technical difficulties.
That's the thing.
And then we won't mind. It'll just be like, hey, even if we just hear voices, it's just like we're looking at tits and we see Brooks, and who cares about Greg? We got boobs. Just guess
That's
the
all you
actress
need,
boob.
right?
Make it a game. Is this Charlie
Yeah.
Spalding? Who knows? Sherilyn Finn? You tell me. And yeah, we'll get you to 10K too.
I don't know if I'm completely. Yeah. I'm trying to get there.
You'll get there.
But on that note, we might as well close it off before this closes.
Yeah, either that or lightning's going to strike your ass down.
But
Who
thank
knows?
you, Brooks.
Thank you, Greg. Always a pleasure. And we'll do it again soon, my friend. We'll get you a hat.
Who knows?
Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye, buddy.
Yeah, see you later. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.